Hello, happy witching hour. This is High Priestess Jamila. And I wanted to come and talk about dangerous, jealous crabs in a barrel at the witching hour. And I'm just going to talk candidly about it, especially to women, because with things that are happening in today's society, women typically they feel as though they are the most vulnerable to this. But so if you are a woman or a man, you can overcome and survive this. Before I get into this discussion, um I kind of, I had tripped on this story that I heard out of DC. Hey Stefan, happy Thursday. Hello. This story out of DC that I had heard about, though, this young black girl. She was young. And I remember when I was young, I was that age before I had children too. But, I've always had good jobs, always, you know, since I was a youngster. Um, but this girl was extremely successful. I'm going to find her name and do like a little tribute on my community wall for her. So, this young girl, she's in her 20s. She had children, or she has children. The children are still here. She unfortunately is not. So basically, this young girl opened up a hair salon and became very successful at it. I mean, in her 20s was driving a Benz. In her 20s. So guess what the people in the neighborhood decided to do? They decided to rob her business and steal hair weave out of her business, right? So she had them caught on camera stealing the hair weave, robbing her business of thousands of dollars of merchandise, right? She goes and she reports it to the DC police. These people, and they were all black, came back to her business and murdered her in, I believe it was in broad daylight, in front of her children. She gone. She is no longer on this planet anymore. Rest in peace. So as you can see, being successful can be dangerous. People hate you because of it. And this don't have nothing to do with race. However, you know what I'm saying? Because I've heard stories about all races, but I bring that up because it hits home being a black woman and how black people, other black people, will do anything and everything to tear you down, including but not limited to tearing themselves down. So I want to talk about jealous crabs in a barrel that are not only self-destructive while at the same time trying to prove that they have, you know, that they're okay. It's not okay because eventually that karma, that justice has to come to them eventually. Eventually it's going to get you. And it's sad, but it's always served cold, which is why being out in this world can be very scary. That's why y'all know it's a lot of people that don't even want to bring kids into this world because of people like that. I know some people that they like, I do not want no kids because oof. When I was being raised, I was raised, my parents, I had good parents. I can honestly say that. My parents protected me. They didn't let nothing happen to me. My father, even though both of my parents, they had their struggles, um, my father was really protective of me. Um, and they kept me sheltered and away from a lot of that stuff. They didn't really tell me what it was that they were actually going through. in this world to put food on the table for me. I was the only child. So, I was actually given the opportunity as a child to just be a child. And usually kids don't have to hear about what the world is doing. So my parents did that for me. When I became older, I realized what was out there. And I think that the worst thing, which is really, it's the worst thing, depending on the situation and how it is that you go about protecting yourself. How do you go about protecting yourself from it? But to me, at this point, on today, it is the most obsolete thing. And we're learning to not give it any power anymore, because the problem is that I think that I think that these people sitting around preying on you and praying against you is not good enough. So they have to take it a step further. They have to take it a step further. And I'm telling you, a hater, a crab in a barrel will call your job, try to get you fired, will talk about you behind your back, which is so low vibrational. And when we say low vibrational in the spiritual community, we're really talking about low class, and just, for lack of better words, ghetto. Because why you can't behave like you got more sense than that is the question. That's the burning question of the day. That, I mean, if you got any kind of social media platform, they will hate on your platform. They will literally take the time. And then not only that, these people tried to create jobs as haters. They tried to create and there is jobs that people can take. I believe it comes from the dark web or somewhere, but I guess it don't necessarily have to be the deep dark web. But they actually employ people. Some people earn a regular income hating on others. Now, I personally, being very knowledgeable and very wise and intelligent, and just a good person with a strong moral compass, I'm not just going to do anything for money. I'm not just going to do anything for a living. I ain't never had to do that. My very first job, I worked at Popeyes. And I really enjoyed that job. I was 16 years old. The manager there, he said, "You come in every morning, you make the biscuits." And them biscuits, boy, they have a shitload of butter on them. That's all I remember, is that them biscuits was buttered several times during the process of making them, and then they was made out of butter. So that's why them Popeyes biscuits are so good. Um, and so I would come in and make the biscuits in the morning. I worked the register, and then after that, I went and I worked for the Internal Revenue Service, and was making more money than anybody my age. I was only 17. The age requirement for the Internal Revenue Service is only 17. So I had a very good job at a young age, and been working my whole life. And you know, I started to encounter the crabs in a barrel in the workplace. I'd say probably in my 20s. And see, a crab in a barrel has no morals. They have no soul. They have no consciousness. Most of the time, people are working to provide for their family. And a person that doesn't understand that or have any kind of moral compass doesn't care. So I never forget a situation when I was working at Sprint, right? And it was like I was working there. It was so peaceful. It was so harmonious. I started working there as through a temp agency, and it was temp to hire. So they did hire me on permanently at Sprint. It was a very good job. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But then all of a sudden, they brought in a new crop of people, okay, to add to the staff. And it was this black guy. Not that him being black had anything to do with it. I'm just saying I ain't never had no white man do this to me though. This man, the moment he came up to the job, he was flirting with me, messing with me. And then one day he called me back to his cubicle because he sat right behind me. And I'm talking about this man was fine. This man was fine. And he was light skinned. I'm not really, I like my men chocolate. Y'all know that, right? But he calls me back to his cubicle and he literally pulls his pants down to where I can see the top part of his penis, right? And so I'm like shocked. I'm shocked, like, because I can't believe that he's behaving that way on the job. And then also, coincidentally, there was this white girl that he rode to work with every day. That was his girlfriend. Isn't that weird? And everybody at the workplace knew that this white girl was his girlfriend. But yet he kept going around flirting with all of the, and I'm talking about this man was fine. For privacy purposes I won't be releasing his picture, but this man was fine. I'm talking about high yellow, full beard, just these beautiful piercing eyes. I mean, this man looked like he should be a model or something. Like he was gorgeous. And so, but we all knew he was with the white girl or whatever because they was always hanging around each other, and so we was just kind of cool with him. And so he came up there. The moment he came up there, he started causing all these problems with everybody on the job. A friend of mine that I live right by her, and I told her straight up, I said, I'm not interested in him. In fact, I'm gonna end up reporting him. So y'all know how that is, right? Like it was that kind of situation. So I went and I did report him because it got out of hand and it turned things into a hostile work environment. Well, they went ahead and they switched departments. I kind of felt like I was demoted a little bit, even though my pay didn't change. I kind of felt like I was kind of low key being punished for reporting him. And my boss at the time was an older black lady, right? And so I was cool with her for the longest. But I think that this man, he was like a fox. They call him a fox in a hen house. I think he kind of manipulated her or whatever because I think he ended up staying on her team because I believe he was screwing everybody at the office except for me. I don't do stuff like that. Like, I'm just like, boy, bye. I'm here to take care of my children. End of story. Right? Because I was at Sprint for probably like maybe 4 years. I worked for Sprint for 4 years, almost 5 years. Right? In the meantime, I'm dealing with everyday life and then I'm dealing with bull crap on the job. And so, men have a tendency to cause women to go at each other, which is fine, I guess, in your personal life if that's what you accept in a man's behavior. However, in the workplace, it has absolutely no place in the workplace. So I think that things like that should be regulated. I think that situations like that should be dealt with because you may be paying this company for your services. And then with stuff like that going on, that would be the reason why there's errors happening or some kind of bullshit. Because stuff like that shouldn't be going on. I mean, the dude already had a girlfriend. Why would you come up to the office and make all these problems? Like I just was irritated by him, and by the time I left there, I could not stand him. I felt very disrespected by him doing that in his cubicle. He knew I was not going for it, and and after that he just looked like a little rat to me. Like when I first saw him I was like, oh, he cute. I even got a picture of him. I got a picture of him still. I still have his photograph. Him and this other older manager, they both came up there at the same time, and I ended up working for the older manager, working in his department. And he actually spoke to me about the situation directly. A black guy, kind of, he was cute too. Like, I was like, wow, what's up with all these cute black men? See, I suspected they were all gay anyway. But um, he talked to me about the situation and tried to guilt me for snitching on the dude. And I'm like, are you serious? And so that's when I left Sprint. I just went ahead and left because I had other choices. I didn't have to stay there for that shit, and I just went ahead and left. I didn't have time for that. It got too stressful after being there for like 4 or 5 years. The point that I'm making is that people don't know how to behave themselves. And especially when you get into situations in social media and you start getting into situations of entrepreneurship, and for some reason in the black community, especially, but not just the black community. I mean, we all saw that movie, The Purge, where, these people thought they was friends with the next door neighbors. And on Purge Day, literally their friends tried to murder them because they said, because you've been doing so well and we've been doing horrible. And she was like, so you decided to kill us? Why you just didn't ask us for help? That's when pride is like. So I believe that all races can go through this. I think people's relationship with money is not good because people honestly look at money as the root of all evil. I don't look at money in that way. That shouldn't be your personal relationship with money. And I think that people mistake that saying. So people think, well, money is the root of all evil, so let me go out and commit evil. And I think that, everything that we see in the Bible can be interpreted however a person wants to interpret it. I don't personally go by that. I don't believe that money is the root of all evil. I believe that there are some people who look at it that way, and those people are typically very problematic and have problems because not only are they trying to be in your financial business, they are trying to control your finances, they are focused on your finances, and for some reason, they just don't know how to mind the business that pays them. So this is when they start hating, smear campaigns, lies, bull crap, backbiting, and so we're seeing this type of situation, and these people, to me, they look stupid. They don't know that they look stupid. You know what I'm saying? And especially, you look weak if you're attacking a woman with children. You look weak to me. You do. You look weak, and but it's very dangerous because people like that, they don't care if it kills you. They don't care if you die. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about nobody. And I think that all of us are different prototypes and different personality types. Like, for example, I don't have a jealous, hateful bone in my body whatsoever. When people come to me, they get blessed. Some people, when they go to other people, they get cursed. It just is what it is. Some people just have that energy about themselves. More than likely, you're going to see this type of behavior, and I've seen it. And people that have literally, I think we call it, they've lost their mind, but I call it possession. I never forget an old friend of mine. One day she got upset with me, and I'm not going to talk about why she got upset because the reason that she got upset was very dysfunctional and embarrassing. To me, basically, she wanted to have some kind of weird sexual arrangement with me that I refused to have. I was like, no, what the hell are you doing? Do y'all know that I asked her to take me home? We were in Kansas City, Missouri at the time. I asked her to take me home. Do y'all know that we got on the highway and this chick was doing about 100 miles per hour on the highway, swerving. It was luckily I made it home safely to back to my mother's house because we were visiting from Lawrence, Kansas. Luckily, I made it home. I don't know what was wrong with this chick. Like, it was really weird. Um, and so we made it home. And I just was like, I'm not fucking with you no more. I'm like, you have lost your mind. Um, and for such a stupid reason also, which I believe that she was trying to set me up. I believe at the time she was already betraying me. It's so ridiculously stupid. Anyway, people like that, it's good to steer clear of them. So I stayed clear of her. I refused to deal with her at all. I quit messing with her after that. Yes, she did come online, connected to a bunch of very, very, very evil people. Y'all know the story. We ain't got to get into it. She's passed on now. We ain't got to go back over and rehash that. The point that I'm making is that mental illness and addiction and alcoholism is a real problem. And I think that that can play a role in it. But I also think that it has a lot to do with this competitive nature of people. And then even people close to you competing with you. That has always been the dumbest thing to me, which is why it's very difficult to find real friendship out there, real family members. You know what I'm saying? Family and friends are not supposed to be competing with one another. And some people were raised in a narcissistic family. If you were raised by a narcissist, more than likely that narcissist has taught the children and the grandchildren of the family to compete with one another. And this is one of the biggest generational curses, because I'm going to tell you something, your own family members, this is the sad part about it. Your own, some of them. I know that since my mother passed away, I'll never get over it. I will, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make sure my family is okay. But that's gonna always be an area that broke me when I lost my mother. So everybody ain't like that, right? Everybody ain't like that. Everybody don't want to see you dead in a casket. Please believe that the narcissism and the generational curses are so deep within people that they lack a soul or a heart. They don't have it. They will do whatever it takes to compete with you, even if it kills you. They will bring you to the brink of death for some fucking competition. They don't care. And they will literally sometimes set you up to be murdered, and will go and cry at your funeral just so that they can get attention. I think that the main demon that we're dealing with is narcissism, is what I think we're dealing with. And the narcissist demon has been destroyed by love. So just simply activating your ability to love and your consciousness, activating your light body is extremely important to that, which to me, the way that I take that, this is the first step of overcoming it, is activating your light body. And I believe, in my belief as a witch, as a healer, I believe that the light body has to do with your cosmic connection. So when you are activating your light body, you are activating your higher self. Okay. So I think that's the first step. And so this kind of information that I'm giving to you guys, they'll say that it's evil, it's the devil, but it's the only way, it's the only way that's tried and true. Now, if the jealousy goes so deep to where people are plotting your death, and you, that's why I'm saying you have to be woke to this. You cannot be sleep on the fact that people that you think that you can trust, if anything good happens for you, and it's not everybody, it's not, but some people, when good things happen for you, They just want you to die. They want you dead. They hate you. They hate you. That's why they murdered that little girl over there in DC. It's so sad. The people that these sad, sorry people in this world that do things like that. And I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all have got to stop acting like immaturely. When I come and I talk to you guys about goetic spirits and things of that nature, they are important because there are people that will plot your death and you need to be protected. This is the reason why I'm not Christian. To me, in the Bible, from from the standpoint of my position as a black woman, I've assessed the Bible, I've assessed religion, and to me what it looks like is that the Bible is telling me to die for some asshole and sacrifice myself and to sacrifice my kids for some other asshole to exist on this earth. So this is the reason why this is the reason why I don't go down that path, because it's very obvious to me. Okay. Now, you may be somebody else that may be having a different experience, maybe because you're a different race, maybe because different circumstances. But for me, my entire life, it hasn't just been in the past 10 years. I was 37 when I started my business. This is what I have peeped about religion years ago, and just assessing my life and the behaviors of other people. I've noticed that people do not care. People will go and purposely try to have you murdered. People are a trip, and then especially if you come from this type of dysfunctional background to where you can't meet somebody, don't matter what social status they are, lies and rumors are being said about you to make you look a certain type of way. This is all being done with the intention of murdering you. So for me, the reason why I'm so defensive against people that lie on me, and these are lies that they've made up. Like, I'm not lying on you because I mean people can see what you're doing. People can see it. Anytime somebody tells a lie on me, I automatically relate that to murder, death. Automatically. Automatically. Because lies have gotten people killed. Okay. So when you do that, I know automatically I can't trust you. I know automatically that you want me dead. That you're trying to destroy my life. And you're trying to take away my free will. And you're trying to do something to hurt me. So this is the reason why people don't take it lightly. These types of people, they can laugh and be goofy all they want, but ain't nobody laughing. Ain't nobody laughing. When somebody is doing a smear campaign against you, the intention is death and destruction. That's their intention. So you have to react with the same severity of what their intention is. There are some people that are just not good people. They're just soiled. They're sullied. And people have to accept that. They're usually hanging around gossiping about someone else for hours because they have nothing else better to do with their time. That's one of the signs. You don't take people like that seriously, but you have to take them seriously to the point you can't take the things that they say seriously because they're liars. But you need to take it seriously, the fact that this person has sat down and thought about it. They've sat down and they've thought about it. How can I ruin people's lives? And this is how they've done it. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I wouldn't be the first person. You wouldn't be the first person. It's a lot of people out there that are successful and made it in this world, regardless of people doing things like that. In fact, most of us have. Most of us have dealt with situations where a jealous crab in a barrel is either wishing bad on us, throwing the evil eye jealousy at us to ruin what we have and our plans. It's a fact. And a lot of the times, the jealous, hating crabs in a barrel, they always get their karma. History always repeats itself. It's a cycle, but yet they still do it. I personally wouldn't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. I'd rather be on the other side. If you were to ask me, if you were to say, Jamila, which side would you want to be on? Would you want to be the person with integrity? Would you want to be the good person? Would you want to be the upstanding person that has honor, integrity, and respect? Or would you want to be the person that's trying to tear you down, that's trying to tear down? I would rather go through what that person that has the honor, that has the dignity and the integrity. I'd rather be the good person. I'd rather be that person than to be that other person any day, because I know how it ends for that other person ultimately at the end of the day. Now, depending on the situation, you may be a person that has extreme obsessed haters. And then this is when you have to go to the next level. You can't ever fold in that situation. You can't ever stop. Because again, like I said, people that are like that, no matter what you talk to them about, no matter what the conversation is, for some reason, there's people that are incapable of loyalty because they have no royalty for real. I just went through that last night where somebody betrayed me being goofy. And I'm like, well, for some reason, people just don't get that that's not cute. It doesn't make you look good for you to do things like that. And why are you doing that to begin with? Right? Anyway, at the end of the day, they're never going to change their behavior. This is how they are, either socially or emotionally. They're just like that. Some people cannot change, especially someone that's a narcissist. Narcissistic people are never going to learn the lesson that they need to learn. Most of us that have a consciousness and a soul, again, y'all have got to stop thinking that everybody out there has a soul too, because some people don't. It don't matter if they're pagan, Satanist, or Christian. It's some people that just lack a soul, and they are capable of that. Would a normal person, a person with a soul, would not be able to make up a lie about a person or to decide on a plot against a person and continuously carry it out? People, first of all, they would do it for themselves. People with a soul typically have an instinct of self-preservation. They don't realize that they not safe, nor are they protected. I think that that was the same thing that happened with certain people that have money that I'm not going to mention, because I'm just not going to mention this person's name no more. Um, Very famous person though that I'm talking about, multi-millionaire. People like that, just because you have money doesn't mean you have a soul. So for a person to continuously do something over and over again, like for example, tell a lie about you, and they're never capable of saying, you know what, I lied on this person. No matter if the lie is big or small, they can never say, hey, I told a lie. I made up something about that person. They're incapable of doing it. Are you going to allow that person to have power over you? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Okay. And people have tried to ruin other people's lives by telling lies on them. It's sick. It's sad, but it's the truth. Why would you think that a person that lacks a soul could ever bring you down? I would never let that person bring me down. In fact, I'm a witch. So I would do work on that person because nobody has time to sit around and wait for everybody to figure out that this person is a liar. Nobody has time for that. Nobody. Okay. But we all know where it ends up for people like that. And it's always going to be like that by design, and they can't complain about it. I don't know about y'all relationship with the gods or with God, but God loves me. And the relationship that I have with God is that is my soul. That's my higher self, a part of the higher realms. Okay. And you need to get with that and realize that you don't have to worry or fear those people actually. But I believe that depending on which God it is, because when people say God, I do believe in one source, a higher source, which I believe it has a lot to do with what is above us, but also what's here and present in the earthly realm and in all realms. But I also believe that there are many gods. I'm a polytheist. I'm not going to change. I don't even know what the whole point is with this monotheism. I don't understand it. It's no different. It's no different. The only difference is that my God is not going to ever have a problem with a person like me because God created me to be a healer. God created Jamila to be who I am. And I believe that God blessed me and did a very good job. I love who God made me to be because, see, I don't have to go out there and lie on people. Other people's relationship with God may be different. Some people don't have a relationship with God. I'm going to be honest with you. I've got many theories about this. I believe some of these people were created in a lab. Yeah. I don't think that a lot of these people, you know how, like, when you got together with, when your parents got together with each other and your parents was in love and they conceived you and you grew in your mama's womb for 9 months. It's the woman's womb that nurtures the soul, okay, that is growing inside of her body. I don't believe some of these people, the way they operate and the way that they are, some of them I kind of believe it's 2023. They came out with test tube babies back in the 70s, I believe. I believe that, and test tube babies are different from in vitro fertilization. So I'm not talking about in vitro fertilization. I'm talking about how scientists created humans in a lab and grew them in a lab. Some of these people, I believe that that is their origin because they're too weird. So I've got several different theories about what's wrong with people because those people don't seem to have a normal human survival instinct. If you had a normal human survival instinct, you would know that eventually the crud that you do to other people is going to eventually catch up with you. And I'm talking about in worse ways than you can imagine. And you don't have to have a soul to get your karma. Now, I truly believe that. Some of the struggles that I've had, we've talked about it. We ain't got to talk about it now because we're past all of that. Um, some of the struggles that I've had that was due to controlling diabolical men. I guess people trying to take me as a hostage. I'm past all of that. Some of the struggles, I'd rather go through that and come out okay on the other side than to be those people, because that's sad, right? So if you going through any kind of struggle right now and you're a good person and you know you did right, just know that that silver lining is coming. So I've been through a lot. My business attacks, cyber attacks, constantly every single day. Been through a lot. Still moving, still pushing forward. Some people, no matter what it is that they manifest or accomplish in this world, it's never going to be good enough. They still, it's just never enough. And I think that those types of people are the narcissists. They're very parasitic in nature, and they just need more, 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 more. Or you have the other end of the spectrum of the type of people that they haven't accomplished much of anything. Most of them, if you put a group of people together like that, 98% of those people are facing failure in life, and they know it, and they have a hatred for anybody. Do not ever allow them to put that energy on you. You do have to protect your energy. You do have to stay protected. You do. Because people like that, I swear to you, it's this girl on the internet. I think it was what, like a few weeks ago. I mean, this chick, she is so hateful that she literally wants me and my whole family, my children, everybody dead. We don't even know this lady. Ain't never did nothing to this lady. Never have done one thing to this person. And she expresses hatred for me, my daughters, because they're gorgeous, they're beautiful, my children. And it's like, what's wrong with you? I can tell you why. People like that. And then also there's the presence of sickness. What I can see very heavily on this person is swelling of the brain. And this person is very overweight. Very overweight. Okay. What I can see, what do they call that? It's some kind of encephalitis or something. And this person is showing end stage of that right now, even by the behavior. The behavior, the way this person speaks, the way this person talks. I've never done anything to this person. Why is this person so hateful towards me and my children? What did we do to you? It's a sickness that's in those types of people, and it's catching up with this person. Does this person have enough self-love or consciousness or understanding on how to help herself? Nope. She just goes around doing evil and committing evil acts. Not just her. There's a lot of them out there that you see. I mean, it is ridiculous. It is and these people, what I see them as an actual healer. I see these people and you can just smell their sicknesses. If they're sick, there's some kind of medical ailment that is happening. And or either mental. So, and if you are a healer, for some reason, you are going to sometimes attract messed up people like that. And the way I look at it is that there's definitely this unseen force that's unstoppable that is going to protect you from those types of people, straight up and down. Like, What are you supposed to do? You didn't do anything to those people. Why should you bear the cross? Why should you carry the cross of whatever it is that they're going through? This is one of the reasons why I don't deal with religion. I don't deal with it. Because in that religion, they seem to think, or it's actually written in the Bible, that other people should, they can sacrifice or scapegoat their crap onto other people. It's a lot about that I'm not going to get into, because for some reason I have a lot of religious people following me. It was not like that at first. I don't know why it's a bunch of religious people following me. I have no idea why. The Bible has been exposed, religion has been exposed for years. But I think that the issue is fear, and then it is also the issue of these people have energy, and typically that energy is negative. So what you're battling with is mainly energy, and it might be spirits or their ancestors, possibly. Okay. Might be their spirits or their ancestors. Okay. So understanding how that works as far as putting up those boundaries to where you don't allow that energy anywhere near you are those spirits. That's why it's important to truly be protected from negative spirits. Now, if you're dealing with energy, you have to know how to protect yourself against energetic attacks. And then also, the one thing I can tell you is that people out there, like we was talking about a few days ago, is people's psychic abilities. Okay. You have to be careful with that, because a person that has spiritual foresight or discernment, they are either going to be using that for good or for evil. So automatically, having, hey, can you either water or soda, one or the other, whichever is easier. Thank you. A person, just because a person is a psychic doesn't make them a good person, because people can use those gifts for evil. Okay. I'm one of the people that chooses to use my gifts for good. So, that's one of the reasons why, I work the way that I do. I enjoy the work that I do. And if you guys don't know, there's readings available on this channel. And I may put up a set of readings somewhere between now and the morning, because I've got plenty of time. My sleep schedule, I'm on my nocturnal hours right now. For some reason, I've been switching back and forth between regular hours and nocturnal hours. So we all know what that means. Okay. Also, another thing, don't let people like that make you feel sad or get you down. That's what they want to do. They want you to lose faith in humanity. You know how many good people is out there in this world that are just on the straight lace? People that are good, that are never going to betray you. I've had a lot of betrayal in my life. I still know that there's good people out here in this world. And I do believe that there are certain things that people can do that is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. For me, I'm the type of person, I stay loyal 24/7 to people that I'm good with. If that person doesn't stay loyal to me, that doesn't reflect on me. My crown stays on my head. The moment you feel the need to do some lower vibrational crap like that, your crown is gone, or it never was there. I keep my crown on my head. That's what you have to do, is keep that crown perched on top of your head. Like, hey, what are you doing? I don't have to do that. What are you doing? Why did you feel the need to do that? What, are you scared of something? What, are you fearful of somebody? And then why would you allow anybody on this earth to make you fearful of them to the point where you feel the need to betray somebody? People typically betray people out of fear. So, whenever you get through, people that are doing things like that are factually very fearful. If you have a true connection with God and your ancestors that love you, thank you, sweetie. You don't have to be fearful of nothing. Fear is a spirit. As a witch, I have spoken about how even if you have negativity or bad energy, you can always transmute that. So people that operate that way, they literally have no excuse. But they'll tell me that I'm evil. I'll say, hey, you've done a lot, but you know what? You can make that better. You can transmute that energy. They don't want to hear that. They want to continue to go down that road of self destruction. Yeah, you did something wrong. You lied on somebody. You did this, you did that. Well, I'm guessing for me personally, the people that I deal with in social media, apparently they have done something that they have not spoke about, that they cannot forgive themselves for. So then that's why they repeatedly do the things that they do. But I think that if you just simply told a lie on somebody, I think that it can easily be transmuted, and it's a very beautiful thing because now you don't have all that pressure. You can actually work with somebody to clear that crap off of you. But I guess some people are just too far gone. They don't have no natural instinct of self-preservation. They really don't. You know what I'm saying? So, when you're dealing with stuff like that, then this is typically what jealous crabs in a barrel never learn, because they've been jealous from the beginning. I never forget that, and I've had jealous haters in social media for years, y'all. Like when I moved from I can imagine that because I've been vlogging on YouTube, uh oh my God, had to have been almost 20 years now. Almost 20 years, because I believe YouTube came out in 2006, maybe. It's probably been about 15, 17 years that I've been in and, kind of on YouTube. And so, me being totally unsuspecting, because, that's the thing about social media. You got to remember, it may be people that can see you, especially if you on YouTube, that are very unsavory. But I never forget when I moved from Missouri to Kansas, and I even had family hating on me for some reason because I'm like, what the hell? But I had moved from Missouri to Kansas, and I'm sitting up here innocently recording my home, showing my nice home, and people was so dead jealous that they spent the last 10 years of their life. They spent the last 10 years of their life stalking me so that they could end up on Section 8 and half crazy and half dead. It doesn't make any sense why a human being would make that decision. And it's never going to turn out any differently for them. They're always going to end up running into a brick wall. It's never going to change. You're not going to be some miracle. You're not going to have those miracles in your life. You're going to always be down, and you're going to always be in destruction because of what you do to other people and because of what you have done to me. It's never going to happen for you. It's not. Everything that I want in this world, I'm going to get. You ain't going to get nothing, and you're not going to throw a fit. That's how I look at the situation. That's the way that it is. And that's the way I said that it was. Because for some reason, people want what they want something in life that they are not necessarily deserving of. Your energy does not reflect the things that you want, and that's why you're never going to get those things. You're never going to be honored. You're never going to have somebody come to your business or your company and, like the way I do, for example, the reviews that I put up for my company. People come to me, they get my spiritual services, they recognize who I am. You're not going to be recognizable like I am. Okay. And the reason why is because why? Because I didn't do that. I didn't play those games. It wasn't in the cards for me. I would never do that to another person. Even if I roasted, quote unquote, roasted somebody and said something about them, I'm going to quickly, if it's not the truth, I'm going to say, no, I'm joking. You know what I'm saying? I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. So that's why my life reflects my soul. My soul is good. My heart is good. That's why my life reflects it. That's, it just is what it is. Okay. So y'all have got to stop letting people like that get you down. Stop letting them affect you energetically. Stop letting them override your mind, your consciousness. People like that, they will try to get inside of your consciousness. Next thing you know, you depressed, you sad, you doing everything that you hate. Next thing you know, don't let people do that to you. Now, a lot of the people that deal with me, they're very empathic. They're empaths. And with empaths, I have to really be very careful with y'all and I have to protect y'all extra because empaths can be negatively affected by other people's emotions really easily, even without those people saying a word. Empaths are some of the most sensitive people in this world. So this is one of the reasons why my spirits, they said, well, we need to go ahead and because it's getting horrible. I mean, it seemed like it got worse and worse throughout the years, didn't it? Since I'm an empath, I'm going to attract other empaths. And some of them may be dark empaths. There's nothing wrong with necessarily being a dark empath as long as you're not a low down, dirty scoundrel. Again, you have to have a soul to be an empath. There are people walking around here with no soul. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I cannot give you all of the information right now about soulless individuals, but there are many videos on YouTube that you can check out about that, about how there's some people that don't have a soul. There are some people that were born without one, completely and totally. These are the people, I believe these are the crabs in a barrel. Okay. And crabs in a barrel has nothing to do with the zodiac sign of Cancer. By the way, shout out to the Cancers. I think I have a lot of Cancers watching my channel because of the videos that I put up, the readings that I put up. It seems like the Cancers got the most views and the most likes. Even though there's not very many views on those videos, my readings are going to start getting more views on these channels because that's the way I've done it for years. When I started my company 10 years ago, and I'm not changing the way I do things, the way that I bring in my clients, and the way people purchase readings is I go and I record videos and I invite you to come and get a personal reading. This is something I've been doing for years. If you're a person that doesn't purchase a personal reading, then hey, just I appreciate your view. I appreciate your like. End of story. Okay? So I've been doing it that way for years and I'm not going to change my business model because it's always worked for me. Okay. Now I'm just having this extra conversation with respect for your time. So this is stuff that, yeah, I mean, you can listen to my readings while you're cleaning or doing something in the background. But a lot of people like the longer vlogs because you can sit and listen to what I am saying to you. You do not want to be anything like those people. Those people are headed for self destruction. I can promise you that. There is nothing good that's going to happen for a person that decides to be either a professional, jealous crab in a barrel, or either just some random person that is a crab in a barrel. There's not good things coming for that person. There's always going to be destruction ahead for a person like that. Okay. So, and there's a lot of children that watch YouTube. A lot of you that are young, probably too young to get a reading because you have to be at least 18 to get a reading unless your parent is present. But, there's a lot of young and impressionable people that are watching YouTube. So, this is the reason why I have been very mindful about the way that I speak on here because people that are older adults should keep in mind that these kids are out here watching them, and you know what, there is a future. The world is not getting ready to end. And so when you look at a world 50 to 100 years from now, well, I'd say 10 or 20 years from now, what world do you envision that you are creating as an adult that influences people, that comes on here and makes videos? This is the reason why community guidelines are set, because you can't just come on here and just think that it's okay for you to be a negative influence on people, a negative influence on their energy, a negative influence on their lives constantly. This is what some of these people are doing. A lot of them, just constant negativity. It's okay to speak about negativity, but you can't speak about negativity when that's all you do is negativity. You leave it at that. You leave it at negativity and ignorance, but there's no teaching. There's no actual real teaching because you're not playing the actual part. You're not the actual part that you claim to be playing because of the dirty stuff that you're doing to people. I've seen people come on here and say, oh, you got to have integrity, but then involve themselves deeply with situations that lack integrity. So then you're a fraud. So you have to, it's not just about your words, it's about your actions. And your actions are going to always speak louder than words because that's what's really going to affect you. So I've seen people, they talk a good game, but it ain't real because what exactly are you involved with? Inquiring minds want to know. I can mention quite a few people, and I won't, that have literally attacked me and will go to their channels and tell other people to not do what they do. Well, why don't you actually be the person that you're trying to encourage other people to be? Take your own advice. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that social media can really affect people. I've seen it. I've seen grown people that I've known my whole life come to social media and be affected by some weird person in social media that's just behind a computer. And negatively, people being manipulative. There's a lot of manipulative people out there that they don't even have to be a witch. That's not necessarily being a witch. That's just somebody that's very negative, and they are very good at manipulating other people. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful out here in social media, especially. And when you know and you see people doing things like that, you have to be aware of the danger that you are in that situation. You can't look at that situation as it just there's no fun in games when it comes to that. That's not a game. The only thing that a liar can do is set you up in a trap because they want you in that same trap with them, a liar, somebody that does things like that. And that is the truth. And it ain't gonna never work out for you or them. And you gotta have your spiritual barriers up. You gotta have that protection up. You gotta know. I just made some that red salt I showed y'all. That's some good stuff right there. It quickly and swiftly clear that stuff away because there's a lot of people out there. I mean, they have literally, it's not even a person there anymore. What is it? People have the right to defend themselves. I was sitting here doing some spiritual work for a client, and the client's adversarial enemy's spirit popped up, and so as I'm doing this ritual for this client, I'm telling this spirit, I'm like, well, you can't mess with my client. And that's all fine and dandy. The spirit actually started telling me its life story. I said, yeah, that's nice. You were conjured to harm my client, right? And you just not gonna be allowed to do that. And you can't argue with me. That's the job of a high priestess. The spirit wanted to sit up there and have an argument with me about the situation. Gonna tell me what it went through. I'm sorry that you went through that, but you got to get away from my client. Bye. Just that's literally how it is as a witch when we are banishing bad spirits. They all have a story. That spirit been hanging around you, doing stuff for years, and when it's time for it to go, now it wants to give you its life story. I don't have time for that. I have a zero tolerance of that. You know, the spirit came with the assignment to do harm to the client, and it was forced to leave. That's exactly what high priestesses or priests are supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? And as far as I'm concerned, a negative spirit that has been randomly put on somebody to do harm, we don't negotiate with terrorists. What is this, a negotiation? And so, I can be hated for that fact, but for me, I don't negotiate with bad spirits that get put on my clients. And I let the spirit know we don't negotiate with terrorists over here. Leave my client alone. Leave me alone. Bye. And if you have a problem with it, I'll call the Santa Martha or something else. It is because you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. So that's putting it in pretty much layman's terms of what happens when a witch banishes a bad spirit. That's what we call banishing. Okay. Because I've seen spirits that have been on people for years. I've had spirits chasing and stalking me for years. Just either a bad spirit or negatively charged person, whatever it is, your bad energy, whatever it is, whatever excuse that you're trying to make to put it on me or my children, you gotta go. And no, you can't have access to our solar plexuses or our heart chakras. I don't understand what the obsession is. Y'all, a lot of these negative spirits and stuff, and a lot of these spirits that are sent on assignment, they are sent to cord your heart and your solar plexus chakra. It's it's one of those things that I kind of I think that those are the main center focuses for life, and then the sacral chakra too, right? Which is where the saying "get off my nuts" comes from, "get off my punani" comes from, because people will try to cord and form cords to you somehow. And that is the process that of which they do it. Okay. So, getting that stuff off of people. And see, I've been busy the past week. I've been clearing things off of people. There's some people recently that I've tried to help. Recently, again, there are some people that are not clients that may be a part of my personal life who insist on staying within that energy, even though they know I can clear them. That is on you. So, if you are a person that I care about and you running around here constantly going within that energy, then you know what? You can be on my list of protected ones, but you can also be on my list of enemies. I have no problem with that, because it's a lot of people that they don't understand that you're clearly going under some kind of possession. And typically when it comes to that, you're not being helped, you're not helping yourself, you're actually harming yourself. You should look at yourself as your time as being valuable. There should be no time where you should be involving yourself with a bunch of crap. You know what I'm saying? There should be no time, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. You make a choice and a decision whether or not you continuously like you, and then you're not doing a good job at whatever it is that you're dealing with spiritually if you have to continuously fight with those people. What is it, all day every day for the rest of your life is just fighting? I don't think so. That's not the way life is supposed to be. Unless you just like to fight with people. If you a person that just want to fight and go back and forth with somebody, K Sarah Sarah, you do what you gotta do then. I'm personally not that type of person. I wasn't brought up that way. I wasn't raised that way. I'm not gonna sit up here and fight with somebody I ain't gotta fight with. Okay. And no, it's not fun to me whatsoever. No, it's not. Because what are you trying to say? That these people are forcing themselves? They forcing you? So and that would actually be a big regret. It's already been named as regret. I've seen people do stuff like that, and they'll say, well, I wasted the last decade of my life. And it's like, well, I didn't, because I've been sitting here learning, making connections. You know what I'm saying? Past 10 years of my life, I've been learning, making connections, and establishing trust and loyalty with my deities, is what I've been doing. What have you been doing? You ain't been doing nothing but sitting around. Now you feel like you wasted your life. Yeah, I would never be able to say that, regardless to what I'm dealing with, regardless to what I'm dealing with. So, and it is what it is. I mean, hell, if you feel like you done wasted the last 10 years of your life, you obviously don't have no damn soul. Go ahead and continue to waste the rest of it, as far as I'm concerned. What I'm focused on, the people that accept my spiritual assistance and my healing, and that's the end of the story. Makes sense to me. So anyway, that's pretty much it. You got to stop. Don't, I personally feel that it's way too many people that are paying attention to that energy. I think that it's a mistake for people to sit there for hours and look at things like that. Some of the things that I've watched y'all watch on YouTube, I don't agree with it. You know it's not doing you any good. You know that it's negativity. And you'll sit and go and you'll blame everything else. But like when I do readings for y'all and I'll see something like the Ten of Swords in the inverted position or upright or something like that. And I'll be like, who is this? Why are you dealing with this negative group of people? What is that? And people will be like, yeah, I am involved with some negativity. Well, there's your problem right there. I can do what are you going to do? A cleanse every day? What are you taking it one day at a time? What is this? Life is not supposed to be constant disruptions, interruptions, and all of that crap. Ain't supposed to be like that. What's happening here? And I'll tell you, hey, you need to disassociate yourself from folk like that. And people will be like, well, I don't know. See, people, what I found out about people is that they don't know how to disassociate themselves from bad people. And the people that they know damn well ain't doing them no damn good. And you know what those people will do? And it's, oh my God, it has pissed me off before as a witch. I know people right now that hang around with some of the lowest, most scummiest, most diabolical, disgusting, evil people and will come back to me and say, well, you giving me all this negativity. Are you serious? You hang around with all these negative ass people. I'm telling you not to. I'm telling you how to get rid of that energy and clear it off of yourself. But I'm the problem. Right. And I never knew that this existed for people to hang around with negative people that they somehow they can't disassociate themselves with them because now I'm gonna tell you something. The last time I had to quit hanging around a negative person is the female I was telling y'all about that was doing over 90 almost over 100 on the highway. The moment I disassociated myself from her, she went and found a negative group of people to stalk me. So who cares? Weather the storm. If you say, I don't want to be around you, I don't want nothing to do with you, you ain't no good, you ain't right. And then people go, well, I'm going to come after you. Well, come after me then. Come on, I'm ready for you. Whatever the hell it is, whatever it is, and they usually going to make up some damn lie on you or something. Or if they have something on you, who gives a damn if they got something on you? Well, I got something on you. Well, play it. Play it again, Sam. You got something on me. Go ahead and get it popping. I'll weather the storm. I'm not hanging around with you anymore. And I'm going to say it publicly that I don't want nothing to do with you. So negative, bad people are forcing people to associate with them somehow, I guess. And I never would have thought I would see that in real life, but it's the truth. It's the truth what I'm talking about. People that instead of if you're an extremely negative person, that I mean you just ain't no good for no damn body, and people disassociate yourselves from them. There should never be a place for you to go where you can go and attack those people. That is an abomination. Because what you should have done was you should have went and thought and reassessed and reevaluated why that person decided that they didn't want to deal with you anymore. Instead, to further the denial of the person, to further make sure that the person can self-destruct totally, there's actual places where people can go, where they can go and lie and get support on attacking people that walked away from them with good reason because your negativity and constant drama. There should never be a place like that. It's an abomination. It should be blown up, caught on fire. The building need to be burned down. Shouldn't be a place for you to go. It should be a place for you to go and sit and think and reevaluate. It should be a place for you to go and say, what am I doing wrong? And figure out yourself. There should never be anybody that you can go to and say, this person is disassociated from me. Say this negative thing about them. No, that you will be destroyed. That's a fact. Because what's wrong with you? To the point where you literally have the incapability of learning a lesson. I guess some people feel comforted by that. They feel it makes them feel important. Well, you so important to us that if you walk away from us, we gonna have nothing but negative things to say about you. Okay. I ain't never seen nothing like it before in my life. And that's what a lot of y'all are dealing with when you walk away from a person because they was negative and tore you down and destroyed opportunities for you. And then they got the audacity to have a place to go where they can smear campaign you. If I ever catch wind of it, it ain't gonna work out for those people. If there is ever a place for people to go to do stuff like that, please believe that if I see it, I'm gonna destroy it. Because that's not fair and that's not just. You understand what I'm saying? That's not fair and that's not just. And we're still working with those principles. We are. It hasn't changed. Social media doesn't change that. And that's a big word, oppression. That is so oppressive for a person that really doesn't want to have anything to do with a person, people, or situation, but yet they can't say it because they're afraid that those people are going to attack them. That's ridiculous. And you know what? I think that our government needs to step in. The police need to step in and regulate people like that. That should be against the law. I believe that that's in a sense that's false arrest because they not just doing it in social media, they're doing it in people's real life. Looking up people's addresses and stuff. That's weird to me. You people need to be destroyed. You and your whole establishment need to go now. And you ain't running nothing because what I say goes. You're ridiculous and you look ridiculous and it needs to stop. Now, if you're going after somebody that you feel is a piece of crap and they did commit crimes and that person, I'm not saying that but innocent people, you need to leave out of that. Like, for example, there's certain people that they want the smoke. Leave that to the people that want the smoke. They want you to talk about them. They want you to do that stupid stuff to them. Well, then do it to them. You shouldn't be doing things like that to women. As a woman, I don't like it. As a witch, I don't appreciate it. And I'm coming for you if you're doing that to me. I'm telling you straight up and down. And you're not going to get past me. I don't care if you a man, a woman, or a group of people. You can be a group of people of 1,000,000. You can be 1,000,000 deep. You still outnumbered when you're dealing with me. Okay, so I don't play that crap. Because there's billions of stars in the universe, and I'm in control of all of them. You don't have no control over that. So that's how you have to be literally. Because and for some reason, a lot of people feel like it's either government funded or some shit like that. It's like, don't nobody care about that. Our government works for us. So I don't even want to hear that anymore. And this is how you stand up as a people against things like that. You don't just cower down and fall down to your knees. You don't do stuff like that. And it's people, they'll talk politically, but the more I look at you, you the problem. You're the problem too. You gonna blame Trump? You're the problem too. So yeah. If somebody tell me that they gonna attack me because I don't want to hang around with them no more or deal with them no more, well then they just gonna have to do whatever the hell they gotta do. I can promise you that you're just making a fool out of your damn self. That's a fact. Because first of all, people that take a first glance at you, any normal person is gonna say, "How in the hell does this person have all this time to do this lower vibrational stuff?" People judge you because of it. You're being judged because of it, even though you may be getting supported by other people that are like you, normal people. They are looking at you like, "How do you even have time to sit and do that all day? How do you have 4 or 5 hours out of your day to do that?" People are looking at you and they don't respect you because of it, and they shouldn't. Especially if you're a grown man allowing some loser man, and you done gave this man power over you. I don't give no man power over me. So a lot of y'all men running around here trying to give these lower vibrational, low lifted males power. You can miss me with all of that. You ever have a man you's involved with and he got a friend that's a piece of shit, and he be letting that man control him. He controls you, partner, not me. So that's why women can't be dependent on a man, because men can sometimes be weak like that. That's weak to me. That's weak to me. For you to fear another man in any kind of way is weak to me. Cause and that's one of my friends. One of the ones I was talking about, one of my ex frenemies or friend. She's an ex. I don't even know what she is now at this point. I don't even care to even check it out, whether or not she was ever a real friend of mine. This is man sitting up here. She done got involved with these people, and now this man calling up to her job, and she's sending him money. I'm like, girl, I'm like, what you think, you making a power move by doing that? And then after she died, this man came on here and talked about her like a dog. Mm-mm-mm. People only have the power that you give them. And I refuse to give that person my power. You give them whatever you want. I don't give nobody nothing. I couldn't believe that. She's supposed to be Billy Badass and tough and rumble, but yet this man call up to her job. This man demanding money, calling up to her job, extorting her. uh, like, and she's a white woman. I'm like, girl, go to the police. Sit up here and let this black man terrorize you at your job. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, when he told the story. He was calling up to her job, and then the next thing I knew, she had told me that he had sent her some money. Because it seemed like to me she was trying to disassociate herself. I just think it's ridiculous. And I think that anybody that's up to that, you are dirt under my feet, buddy. You are dirt under my feet. You don't want to know what God I work with. You don't want to know what God I deal with. You don't want to know. Because he will destroy you instantly, annihilate you. I'm not playing that crap. I just think it's sad. We got some damn bully running around here thinking he just gonna, just terrorize people. And see, that's one of the other reasons why I get Valor on them. Oh, you want to be a terrorizer, right? Valor is a demon of the Goesha that will assassinate that person. Are you insane? And his number's coming up again. It's 6 people in here. That's his number. And he will get you. Valor will get you. You can call me a devil worshiper all you want, but I just don't stand for that kind of terrorism. This person been running around here terrorizing people for the longest. I'll have every demon and spook and kook on your ass. It's a sad day when you got a desperate man running around here attacking women and children. We don't stand for you and we won't allow you to run amok. Any of them that's doing it, any of them that's doing it. Evil little bastard. Anyway, y'all have a good morning. I'ma go. I'ma be respectful of y'all time. I've been here for almost 2 hours. Yeah, I don't have no fear of no thug. I swear to you, I the is I know for a fact that my spirits will cut you down. You need to leave these people alone in peace, is what you need to do. And then I'll get Garez to take all your power from you, and they're not gonna negotiate with you because they've been given orders to not do so. So you ain't getting past me. I will always be a problem in your plan because see what I do is I maintain the peace and the harmony, and it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do that. Because people have a right to live in this world without being terrorized by the likes of you. Especially when you like that's just disgusting to me. A grown man attacking a woman and her kids. You're disgusting. You can't we can't even really call you a man. Not really. We can't call you a man. Any man that's doing that, you have lost your way. You have lost your balls. You ain't got no backbone or none of that. Ain't no power whatsoever. Whatsoever. You just lower than life. And y'all know I'm telling the truth about that. But I'll see y'all later. Y'all know I love you. I'll see y'all later. Okay? Y'all be strong out here, man. Don't be cowering down for these fucking people. And if anybody's threatening you, we will call to Valor for. He is a very murderous spirit and very protective. Now, I'm not gonna talk about my because I'm not gonna talk about. I'm not gonna talk about what I wanted to talk about because the less you know, the better. Just know that it's just know that you're not gonna get away with it. Not tonight, not 2 hours ago, not yesterday, not any of that. You are going to immediately be apprehended and admonished for your crimes that you commit against humanity because you are on my earth and you don't have nothing to do. You need to leave the women and the children alone, and that's all women and children. You don't have the authority, nor do you have the power to be attacking women and they children and people's families. Okay? All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Y'all let me know if somebody messing with you because I'll conjure Valor for in a minute. In a New York minute. All right, y'all. Blessings. Bye.